This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today as we talk about your life, your relationships, your money, your career. Whatever your question is, we are here to help. We are excited today. It is yet another book launch day here at Ramsey. We've said that a lot lately. This is the fourth book we've launched in about 6 months, and the fourth bestseller. However, this one's really, really special, as if they're not all special. Every time you have a new kid, it's special. And this one right here is absolutely fabulous. Dr. John Deloney's new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, a not so complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. Coming off of the material of him having 2 PhDs, one in counseling, one in higher ed, the Dr. John Deloney Show, and this whole idea that our stories and the traumas that our body has stored can be changed.
That's right. We've entered this weird nexus in the world, man, where we've got all the answers, all the technology, all of the stuff, and we are more anxious and depressed and burned out and cooked and angry and rattled than ever. And man, there's so much out there, so much great stuff out there, but it's so much. And even I've been living in this stuff for 20 years. It just bogs me down. And so this book was my attempt to bring it all together. What can a regular person like me and my wife and my kids, what are some things we can do to change our life?
Yeah.
Heal and move on.
To heal
man.
from the broken places.
That's
and
right.
Different people have different kinds of broken places, different causes for the broken places, different depths of brokenness on different issues. Everybody's got something. Everybody's got a story, or 73.
A bunch of them, right?
73 stories. And that's kind of the way you framed the book up. When I was reading through the manuscript, when we originally were looking at the, putting the thing together and working through the edit process and everything. I love stories, but I had never thought about how they leave a grain, they leave a groove in our brain.
Yep, and we will track that thing down. So one of the stories in the book is, my sister is a savant. She is smarter than me 10x. And my little brother missed 1 or 2 questions on the ACT, and that was it. And then there was me in the middle, and I could run fast. That was kind of my thing. I got asked to try out for, or to take some tests for the gifted and talented when I was in 3rd grade. 3rd grade, Dave.
This never happened to me, John.
I know. This is a futuristic thing.
Not in any grade, John.
Right. But I took the test. Of course I was. I had a smart little brother. My sister was smart. I didn't get in. And then you fast forward to, that'll be okay, and what about this? And you need to be in these classes instead of these. Dave, I'm 2 PhDs in, and if I get tired, or I've eaten just enough gummy bears, I'll start thinking, I wonder if I should get another thing. I'm still chasing
that
this
third grade test
from a 3rd grader. And so when I can stop and go, what am I doing? Why am I chasing that story down? And we have stories like that, from that thing the girlfriend said, the way our uncle treated us, what that coach said to us one time.
That dress makes you look fat.
That dress. You don't. Pretty girls don't eat that kind of food. Boys only do this. You're not allowed to be sad. All these stories that have just cast this vision for us, and we live them out over and over and over. And that turns into generational trauma on top of generational trauma. And at some point, as the great Terry Real says, you got to turn and stare down the forest fire and say, enough. I'm going to be the one. You've done it. We're all trying to do that for our kids and for future generations. And this book is the blueprint on how to do that.
I want to change my family tree.
That's right.
We talk about it in the financial realm
right
all the time. And everyone kind of has that dream to change their family tree, to go, I'm never going to do that with my kids. And then you open your mouth and
you hear it, man.
You hear the parent voice.
Oh, it's the worst.
The exact same verbiage.
Right.
With the exact same tonality.
It sounds
and
the same.
accent even.
It's
all, it's like, wow, that just happened.
It's lodged way in there, man.
Yeah. And so, but there is a way to get better.
That's right.
There is a way to improve. And but my point is, we all have kids and we say we're not going to do that, which means we have the desire to get better.
That's right.
We have the desire to change our story, to change. And those of us that are believers, this is not a book exclusively for Christians, but it's a book for anyone, including Christians, and by a Christian.
Yeah.
And so but those of us that are believers, we believe that you can change. That you can be transformed.
That's the cornerstone, right?
You can be, and people who aren't believers believe you can be transformed or changed too. We just think there's a higher source, God, that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I can be transformed by the renewing of my mind. And I can start quoting scriptures over the top of this, and I can change my kids by speaking blessings over them, and not in some weird mystic way, but just, in other words, be nice to your kids.
Act differently, right? That's right.
Like, you don't have to make this some kind of spiritual thing. It's be nice.
Well, and most of us we act with the models we've been given. We treat our kids the way our dads treated us, and then the way they treated theirs. And what's so amazing about your show is something as simple as a debt-free scream gives somebody driving their car all by themselves a picture of, oh, that's me, and they did it, I can do it. And this book is that for how to treat your kids, how to treat your spouse, how to treat your coworkers, how to take care of your neighborhood and your community, how to take care of yourself, man. How many of us, Dave, talk to ourselves in a way that we would never let somebody talk to the waitress or talk to the woman at the cash register?
Every one of us.
Every one of us.
Yeah, self-talk is one of the meanest human beings out there.
Right? And so just you were talking about being kind. This book's going to help you learn how to be kind to yourself, and the healing will start there, man. I'm excited.
Brand new. It's launch day, which means the pre-sales started today. The actual street date will be in April 19, I believe.
Yes, something like
recall.
That. April 17.
And the book, the brand new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. It is on sale, available for pre-order today. If you go to RamseySolutions.com, we're going to throw in all kinds of extras, about $300 worth of bonus items that includes the ebook, includes the audiobook, and something we've never done before. We teamed up with one of your sponsors, the folks at BetterHelp, which is online counseling, and we're going to give you a $300 value, a 1 year or 1 month ticket for free counseling. Online.
That company stepped up in a major way. They're big believers in this book, but the idea that I can get through this and go, whoa, I need to make a call right now. And they said, we'll step up and provide you that number, right? And of course it helps them, but a month free counseling with the pre-sale order.
It's only $20. So if you wanted to do this wrong, you could say,
right.
I get a month counseling for $20 and they give me a book.
I'll send you a book.
But that's not exactly the way we're doing it. But it's the net result.
It's a great, I'm really grateful to them for stepping up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And that's with the folks at BetterHelp. So the book is Own Your Past, Own It, Change Your Future. Dr. John Deloney. Brand new, major trade book. This thing's going to be huge. The content is world-changing, life-changing. Be sure you get it pre-ordered right now at RamseySolutions.com. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Dave Ramsey. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Launch day on the pre-sale of his new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. Tyler is going to start off this hour in Manchester, New Hampshire. Hi, Tyler. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call today.
Sure, man. What's up?
So here's the situation. We bought a house in Denver, Colorado back in May of 2013 for $283,000. The current balance remaining is about $220K. And when we moved, our original plan was to keep it as an Airbnb, short-term rental. Denver changed its laws where you can't have it be a short-term rental if it's not your primary residence, because now we live in New Hampshire. So we're currently transitioned to the corporate rental scene, which is 30 days or more, and it's very successful. Rented out probably 98% of the time. Yearly, we gross $80,000. We net $20K after paying the mortgage, paying all the bills. My question to you is, should we sell today? Because right now we fall in a 2 out of 5-year rule for primary residence, because we did live there for 2 consecutive years. So our current mortgage in New Hampshire is at $330,000. And I think I gave you all the information that I was going to tell you.
You did. How old are you?
I am 37.
Okay. As you know, probably from if you've listened to the show for 30 seconds, the way we try to answer questions here is if I woke up in your shoes knowing what I know, having done all the stupid butt things I have done in my life, what would I do if I woke up in your situation? Okay. Now, a couple of observations. Number one, this thing takes up a lot of your energy, your time, and your emotions.
Correct.
For 20 grand. Number two, it is across the United States on the other side of the world. Number three, you were not living in New Hampshire and said to yourself, I want to go buy a corporate rental in Denver. You became a corporate rental landlord by default, not by strategy or design, not by intentionality. Agreed?
Agreed.
Is there a number 4? There probably is. All that to say, as much as I love real estate and as much as you have maximized this property, number 4 would be the capital gains issue. You're going to have a gain of how much on this?
I would say the tax accountants that ran the numbers for me, if we were to sell before the capital gains, we just have to pay depreciation. That'd be $5K. And if we sold after May of 2022, we would owe $55,000.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get this up to $500,000 of gain is tax free on your personal residence if you haven't violated the 2 and 5 rule, which is what you're talking about. So, and that as of May is when you have violated that. You've rented it more than 3 of the last 5, right? So, at that point, yeah. So,
what would you get for the house if you sold it right now? What's it worth now?
Between $600,000 and $650,000.
So pay off your home mortgage.
Correct.
Yeah, that's number 5. I listed 5 reasons why. I listed 5 reasons just now why I would sell it. I don't have a good reason to keep it.
Okay. I have one additional fact here. I do have about $350,000 in stock options from a company I worked for, which is also an option to sell because I'm not very diversified in that. It's just one company's stock. So I was curious, if you had those facts, would you sell the stock just to pay off your primary residence to keep your rental?
I'd sell the stock. I would sell the stock to get more diversified, and I would sell the rental house.
I'd sell them both. That's right.
And then if you want to buy and do some kind of a rental, let's do it in your neighborhood there.
Okay.
And if you want to fool with the type of rental you've been fooling with, if you're enamored with the Airbnb or the corporate rental scene. But as you described, I mean, you're bringing in 80 and netting 20, which, after mortgage and everything. So there's just not a lot of fun here.
A lot of
fun for me is bringing in 80 and most of it stays.
That's right.
That's more fun. On $600,000, you're making a $20,000 rate of return.
Or fun is selling this house and having no house payment in 45 days.
Whoop, whoop.
That's real good, man.
And or having the money from the stock sale to buy another rental.
Just go pay one for cash. Buy your next door neighbor's house
closer to you, and pay cash for it.
Well, I like that plan.
So if I'm you, I'm out of the property in Denver. But those are my 5 reasons. And I just have to think through kind of a pros list, a cons list, the old thing, you draw a line down the middle of the page, and I start looking at it and thinking that through. And generally, that list serves me pretty well. Different items on the list have different weights.
Sure.
You could have one item on there that offsets the other 14 on the other side. Like, I just like it. Shut up. That kind of thing. That's okay. That's an okay item to have on there. But there's a lot of reasons to be out of this. And I think you already knew that. You just want me to say it out loud.
Teach me about the 2 and 5 rule.
If you own your personal residence and you move out and start renting it,
okay,
and you rent it more than 3 of the last 5 years,
okay,
over 2 years, then you lose your capital gains exemption on your personal residence. You sell your personal residence, you can make up to $500,000 profit, married filing jointly, no taxes.
So I thought when you sold it, and
if he sells it as a rental after he's rented it for too long, he loses that. So he'd have $55,000 in extra taxes if he waits till May.
if you sell your primary residence,
You have zero taxes up to $500,000 gain.
oh, I thought you had to roll it into your next
No,
house.
that's an
Okay.
old rule from the 70s.
Oh, wow, okay.
No, that rule's been gone for almost 20 years now.
Okay,
But
fantastic.
yeah, you flat out make $250,000 single, $500,000 married, profit, don't have to touch it.
Wow. Okay.
You can do anything you want to do with it.
Yeah, I'd get out today.
Yeah, there you go. And you don't have to roll it into another property. You don't have to do a 1031. You don't have to do anything. That's because it's still classified as a personal residence until you rent it too long out of the 5 years, and then you lose that exemption. It's no longer treated as personal residence. Now it's treated as selling a rental property, so you got taxes on all the gain.
There you go.
That's how that works. Josh is with us. Josh is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Josh, what's up?
Hi, guys. Good to talk to you.
You too.
I'm a former Antioch kid, so it's great to talk to you, Dave.
Oh, cool.
So I wanted to ask you guys, me and my wife are in baby step 3B. We just finished paying off our emergency fund, and we've got a small project that we got to do before we can start investing. My main question for you is, before I got into the baby steps, I saw a video of yours years ago talking about car payments and how you shouldn't, spend so much money paying a car. Instead, you should pay yourself that car payment so that you can pay cash for cars for life. My question is, I was wondering if this principle still applies in the baby steps, or if it may have been an outdated type of thing. And the reason I'm asking is because if we applied that principle, that'd be about $400 a month that me and my wife are putting towards our next cars. And it's not a lot. We didn't have big car payments, but the problem is we don't have a huge income. So if we continue to do that once we start our investing, we're going to have a hard time hitting that 15% mark.
Yeah, Josh,
and doing that.
The answer is very simple, okay? I love that video. It's the free car video, it's called. And but I did a poor job of communicating in the video. I communicate all the math nerd stuff fabulously because it's one of my gifts. But what I didn't communicate was that it's not a principle by which we tell you to actually go do things. I was merely trying, and I goofed, to illustrate the idea that if you will save and invest money rather than pay payments, you will end up wealthy. And the point being that if you took the illustration of that point was that if you invest a car payment instead of paying a car payment, pretty soon the money off the investments alone will buy you a car ever so often. But the concept should not be trapped within the subject of car. The concept is generally stay out of debt, invest, and then you've got money.
But the concept is also don't borrow money for cars.
Don't borrow money for anything.
Right.
Because if you got payments, instead of paying yourself payments, you can, you don't become wealthy. When you pay yourself payments, you become wealthy. So it's not outdated. The illustration is still fabulous. I'm still proud I did it, but I didn't do a good job of saying this is what this means is not you should actually do it. What it means is that you should actually save rather than be in debt. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Jason and Lindsay are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi.
Great. How are you?
Welcome, welcome. Where do you guys live?
Oklahoma City.
Oh, I love Oklahoma City. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All the way over here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$105,000.
Woo! How long did that take?
22 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
About $95,000.
Wow, very good. What do you guys do for a living?
I work very hard at home. Homeschooling, taking care of kids.
Okay.
And then I manage property for our church.
Okay, excellent. Very good. So what kind of debt was your $105,000?
Our mortgage.
Oh! Looking at weird people.
Way to go.
I love it. Way to go, you guys.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, man, oh, man, you paid off your house and everything. So tell us the story. What happened 22 months ago?
It was actually way before that in high school. We dated in high school, and my parents, for his graduation, gave him Your Financial Peace Revisited book.
Wow.
And he would say he never read anything that wasn't required at school. So that was really like his first, just for enjoyment,
Voluntary
book.
reading.
Voluntary
Yes.
I don't
reading.
know. If your future in-laws give you a book, that's required reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he read it right away and totally bought into everything. And my dad was a new listener on your show, and he bought us tickets to go to one of your live events. And
Wow.
I'm not sure if I've told them this, I probably have, but at the time I was probably 16 and wasn't great at math and didn't care about money really so far at that point, so I expected it to not be fun, and it was so fun and it was so engaging, and we just loved it. And we decided from the moment we were married that's what we wanted to do. We've never had any debt since we've been married except a mortgage, so it's been a dream this whole time to pay it off. And
So we had a goal that we wanted to have it paid off by the time we were 30, and we were working towards that and had made significant progress. And then God told us, "Hey, I've got some kids that don't have a home, and we need you to take them and make a home for them." And so we had to change plans and use all of our house money to buy beds and cars and things like that. And so we had a little bit of a delay,
Detour.
but here we are.
So how many kids did you adopt in that one swath?
So we have 6 that we adopted within a total of about less than 2 years. We adopted 6.
In one-offs, or was there a group?
There was 3 siblings and 3 siblings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So that first group was the kind of God whispering in your ear or yelling in
Yeah.
your face or whatever he did to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
okay,
Right.
these kids need a mom and dad, and you're it.
Yep.
right.
That's so cool, you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
So you got a 3 and 3 grouping.
Yep.
Total of 6. What age? What's the age range?
Well, 15, and then we actually just had a baby 6 months ago. So
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And-
Why not?
yeah.
Yeah, well, that was in the middle of our. So in January of 20, we just decided, you know what, we're done bringing babies home, and we aren't moving anymore. We really want to get serious about this, because we had other mortgages that we had tried to tackle, but we had moved for different reasons. And in the middle of working really hard to pay this off, he was surprise baby, and so that was kind of one of our moments of. What do we do? We're working on paying off our mortgage. How are we going to have a baby also? And we did. God, we just kept working, and
But
God
through
worked
it all,
out.
you've never had any debt
No.
ever
No.
except your mortgage.
Correct.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's why they're smiling so big right
Yeah.
now. That's
We
how
are-
you can have 7 kids and be that joyous right there. I'm
Yeah.
looking
We are
at it.
so happy to be here.
How big are how big? How long y'all been married?
15 years.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're what? 35?
I'm 35.
And
Yep.
37.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Wow. So
And
this
a
story
paid-for
goes
house.
on a long time.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
6 kids, then a kid, and a paid-for house in 15 years. Pretty stinking amazing.
That's exactly right.
All straight out of high school sweethearts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so let's see, 10 would be 12. So this is like 2006 or something. You went to that event in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, we got married in 2006. We had went to one while we were dating before that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Might have been 2003 is when he graduated and read your book. So.
Almost 20 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually saw Russ Carroll too.
We did.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! Russ was our first team member.
Served at some live events.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. Wow.
So what was the hardest part of the last 2 years? And I feel silly asking mother and father of 7 during a pandemic. What was the hardest part of the last couple of years to get this thing moving, to keep it going?
I would say saying no to them, because there's a lot of things to say no to, and he says saying no to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you can say no to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We just
Oh,
have you just have to say no to a lot of things, and
But
one
now
of
you can say yes
yes, now
Yes.
we can say yes.
forever.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you received that first paycheck
Oh,
that's
yes.
deposited,
We-
but you didn't have a mortgage payment?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes.
How does that
Yes.
feel?
It feels amazing.
It's all your money now.
It's all our money. We don't owe
That's so
anybody
great.
anything. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a beautiful
All
home.
Yeah, the home. They just showed it on YouTube. Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful. This is so cool, you guys. So, so the idea that you can't do this biblical financial thing and stay out of debt and get out of debt and live on a plan with a big family is hogwash. They're proving that it can be
Or you
done.
can't do it and adopt too.
Oh, and adopt. Yeah, adoption is. Let's just try times 6.
Right.
While we're
It's
at
totally false. You can
You can do
do
it.
anything you set your mind to, and that you're a team on.
Yeah, you just have to have a goal. Has to be in front of you. Stick to your plan.
We had I know there's a picture of our youngest daughter. She's coloring a box. We made a chart really for them to feel a part of the team and for us to see it every day. And I told him it was just as motivating for me. And they colored boxes off every month for however many payments we made that month. And so, yeah.
So you tell people having a plan is a big deal. What else do you tell them the key to getting your house paid off with 7 kids at 35 is?
Again, it would be saying no to a lot of things and being a team. If you have a family, if you have kids, make your kids part of it, because I know you're going to ask biggest cheerleaders, but they truly are, and they love feeling a part of it. And it was all of our dream together. Started out as ours and became all of ours.
Yeah, I would say sticking to the budget. And just having a goal and having it in front of you every day that you see.
Yeah. You guys seem so mature beyond your years, so chill. What was the biggest fight you had about money during this time? There had to be one.
Yeah.
I can't really remember.
I don't think they fight, Dave. I don't.
They don't. Golly.
They were middle schoolers. I think when someone's
they've been in love since they were 4.
Yeah, the other one already sees it coming, and it's like the Matrix. You already know how to get out of the way. Yeah. It's incredible.
I think now, I wouldn't call it a fight, but I enjoy being able to say, no, I can buy that now. We don't have a mortgage.
You lost your leverage.
I know.
Because the
We need a new goal. We need a new goal.
used to always be, when we pay off the mortgage, then we can get that. So now I remind him, we paid it off.
Well,
Well played.
I love that God can whisper to you, and you have the courage to be obedient and still get your goals and still give these kids a home. You guys are pretty amazing people.
Thank
you. Really are. They are some lucky kiddos, without a doubt. And lucky that mom and dad, more than anything else, can hear God's voice and obey. Because that makes for a great life. Makes for an incredible time. I'm so proud of y'all. Well done.
When I look at that,
Get them all up in this.
Yeah,
Get them all
look
up
at
in the
this.
shot. Everybody wants to meet them and everything. It's
Come on, baby.
very cool.
changed a lot of family trees here.
Absolutely. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaire for you, because that's the next step in your process, the next chapter in your story, and you will be there without a doubt. And wow, I think you're already wealthy beyond measure.
Oh my goodness!
It's
Look at this.
pretty
Yes.
amazing to look at
Wow.
this. Pretty cool. And a copy of Total Money Makeover, maybe you can give it to somebody and it'll be the first book they read. That's not mandatory. So I love those stories. I love those stories. So well done.
Thank you.
All right, it's Jason and Lindsay and the Tribe of 7.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. $105,000 paid off in 22 months, making $95,000 house and everything by the time they're 35. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Even that baby's getting in on it now.
Oh, man. That is so fabulous. Wow. What a great story. Powerful. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jeff is with us. Jeff is in Los Angeles. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Well, I'm just great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I came to you on my evening commutes. You come on after Hannity, and that's how I came to you, and I listened a bit. I really like what I hear on your show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So I'm 59, never owned my primary residence, coming to retirement and planning on purchasing a retirement home. But I'm completely unexperienced in the real estate world, and I want to treat myself well, but not come anywhere close to getting into becoming house poor. Mm-hmm. So I wanted your advice on what to spend, and then also how to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How much money do you have?
$2.5 million.
Okay. What are you thinking about spending on a house?
I'm thinking $500.
Okay. And if you pay cash for that, there'd be no problem.
Okay.
I just use some of your $2.5 million and whatever. The millionaires that we have studied, their homes from a $1 to $5 million net worth, we studied about 10,000 of them in the research that we've done. The data tells us that the typical millionaire in that setting, in the $1 to $5 million net worth, which is where you said, their home is somewhere around 1/4 to 1/3 of their net worth.
Okay, a quarter to a third.
So you're right there. I mean, you're exactly there in that range with the $500,000. If you told me $1 million, I'd start to flinch, because that'd be like 50% almost of your net worth, or 45% of your net worth. I'd flinch and I'd start asking more questions. I'm not taking out a mortgage. You've got the money. And $500,000, unless you're moving out of L.A., is not much of a property.
Well, I am moving out of L.A.
Okay. All right. Where are you moving?
Yeah. Back to Arizona, back to the... I grew up in Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to go back to Scottsdale.
Okay. Yeah, you can get a decent property there for $500,000. Okay, that's cool. I mean, depending on the neighborhood you're in, all that kind of junk, right? As always. But I mean, that's a doable task. What did you do for a living? Where'd all this money come from?
I do lighting for films.
Mm-hmm. So you're just doing that all these years? You own a company, or?
Officially, yes, but it's just me. The company is literally just me, but I do have to have a license.
But I mean, so you're an independent subcontractor in the film world.
Essentially,
and you've saved your money all these years, or did you make it all in one lick?
No, it's just been a slow go the whole way. I was, just save and keep.
How much of it did you inherit?
Memory-wise, it's been a little while. I think 180 from my dad, and the rest of it, that's it.
Okay. All right. So you don't have this wealth because of an inherited money. You have it because you've systematically saved it over a large number of years, which, again, you fit the model of the typical millionaire that we studied. I'm going to send you a copy of the book Baby Steps Millionaires, because you are one. You didn't follow our baby steps to get there, but you are a typical millionaire in America today. How ordinary people built extraordinary wealth, how you can too. You'll enjoy the book because you'll go, oh, that's me. I'm in there.
And on behalf of not so pretty faces in the world, thank you for being a great lighting guy over the years, man. Dave, you and I both, man, those lighting...
No, it's the makeup people that have Bondo that I need. The filler.
Those lighting folks, man, that's a hard job. They're up on scaffolding all the time and hanging and doing all kind of stuff. It's incredible work, man.
Real work.
Appreciate you.
He worked hard for that. He's done a great job, too. Yeah, you're right on track, brother. I wouldn't worry about your plan at all. It sounds very reasonable. Washington, D.C. Michael's on the line. Hey, Michael, what's up?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Sure. How can we help?
Hey, so my wife and I are $65,000 in debt right now, mostly credit cards and some from a car. And right now, when we've looked at our budget, we put it on an Excel sheet, and at the end of the day, we have more going in the negative than coming in positive to spend on our daily needs.
Okay.
And we're kind of at a loss right now. We're scared for our future of what we're supposed to do, and we're so much in the negative that we can't even get to the positive. I'm trying to follow your baby steps of saving up to $1,000, and I can't even do that because I'm in the negative every month.
What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a teacher, and my wife works for the government.
Okay. What do you teach?
Elementary school.
Okay, good. Okay. And so what's your household income?
About $110 a year.
Okay. All right. How much do you owe on the car?
I owe $17,000.
Okay. Well, I hear the stress in your voice, and I have been there. You make good money. You live in an expensive area, so 110 doesn't go that far. It sounds like you ought to be able to live on that, but you're in Washington, D.C. It's expensive. How much is your house payment or rent?
It's about $2,000 a month.
Okay. That's high, but it's not what's killing you.
So where's the rest of the money go?
Yeah, your money's, there's a leak somewhere. How much do you all eat out all the time? Well, credit cards, what are you buying with the credit cards?
It's from past credit card usage.
Yeah, but you only have $40,000 in credit card debt.
Yeah, the payments are between each of them. They're about $200, $300 a month.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. It sounds like there is, you are being killed, death by 1,000 cuts. I don't hear a major hole in the side of the boat. I hear lots of little leaks from years of doing budgets with people. That's what I hear. Okay. So the little leaks sound like this. You're going to go on a scorched earth thing and turn this thing around because you're stuck. The good news is you're sick and tired of being stuck. I can hear it in your voice. You're a little bit scared, a little bit desperate, and a little bit pissed off. That's a really good mix for changing things because you're going to have to get radical. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a tutoring business tomorrow. You can make $50 to $100 an hour tutoring elementary school kids in the afternoons. I've had people get out of debt doing tutoring that were teachers all the time. I hear it all the time. And there's such a need of people like you to be able to do this. And then you're not going to see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there. You guys eat out too much. You spend too freaking much money outside the walls of your home. You don't need to go on vacation. Period, until you get this mess cleaned up. You need to get the credit cards out tonight, light a candle, and have a plastic surgery ceremony, and chop them all up into little bitty stinking pieces, and you are never borrowing money again for anything. And with the extra income and the reduced outgo, if you can, have you gotten a big tax refund?
No.
Okay. If you can't find some money in dialing this thing down with all of that, you're going to have to sell the car. But the car is not your problem. It just might be a little bit of the solution. A $17,000 car debt on a $110,000 income is not good, but it's not drowning you. And I'm talking to a guy who sounds like he's drowning.
That's right. What is split me your salaries? What do you make versus your wife?
My wife is about 60. I'm about 50.
Okay. There is a hard moment, and nobody likes to talk about this. There is a hard moment when you look at your total life. You're teaching government work, and you look at how y'all are scraping by, you're scratching your claw, and you ask yourselves, is this where we have to live? Is this where we want to live? Is there another place that we would be interested in doing life? And my wife and I have had that conversation. It's hard, it's gut-wrenching, and it also was life-giving ultimately, right? So some of those big existential questions you can have on top of the grinding and the clawing that you're doing to get out of this thing.
To get unstuck. So hang on, Kelly's going to pick up, and I'm going to sign you up for Financial Peace University and Every Dollar the Premium app, and we will show you hand in glove how to do exactly what you need to do to get this mess straightened up. We'll walk with you, brother. Hold on.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. You can listen to all our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. Browse by topic or even send clips to your friends. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.
Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. And today is the day that the new book goes on pre-sale. His brand new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, a not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. On sale today, pre-ordered. And guess what? There is there's a record-setting number of them already going out the first day. Congratulations, John.
Thanks, man. I'm excited.
It's a pretty incredible book, and I predict it'll be yet another bestseller. And it's quite a process to write your first one.
Whew, I tell you what.
Especially when you come out of academia, and not for academics, writing for real people is different.
Well, the number of people who said, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you say that again? And then I'd say it again, say it again, say it again. So the refinement process has been great.
It's a pain in the butt is what it is.
Yeah.
Editing is
refinement
harsh.
process is great is Latin for, it pretty much sucks.
Yeah,
it's not
pretty much. The editing process where you have a baby and then someone says, your baby ugly.
That baby's ugly. Let me dress it up. You think, no, I don't wear those clothes. Yeah. And they say, well, no one knows what you're talking about.
Oh, it's harsh. It's just harsh.
I don't know. Hey, there's a world-class team here,
content and creative people where your work is criticized every day. I don't know how you do it.
Dave, you know what's worse? Your words are hard, and you feel really important. You think the words you wrote are really important, and then somebody comes and says, I don't know what you're talking. That's hard. When somebody looks at 35 pictures of your face and says, man,
we got to shoot that
That looks
again.
really great, but your face. And you're like, man, that's all I got, man.
It's all I got to work with.
You can't edit that
I can't change that.
Yeah.
No,
Man.
it's a great cover. It is
they
a
did
good-looking
awesome.
book.
So good, man.
Good-looking man on a good-looking book. Smart guy. We're ready to rock and roll.
I'm excited about this,
Own
man.
your past, change your future. It's about changing your story.
That's exactly right, man. I'm sick of everybody having all the answers and all the technology and all the stuff, and I'm watching people, myself and my friends and family included, melting. And enough's enough. This is a book about mental health relationships that anybody can understand, and it's for all of us to get our hearts back, our homes back. Let's get this country back, man. Let's just start healing people.
I'm ready. Own Your Past, Change Your Future, on sale now. RamseySolutions.com. You get $200 worth of pre-sale items when you pre-purchase. Pretty incredible
Comes with
offer.
a free month of counseling.
Yeah, I mean, that's
pretty cool.
Over the top. All right, let's go to Katie in Colorado Springs to kick off this hour. Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Doing well. How are you?
Great. How can we help?
Well, we're baby step 7, and my son, who's 17, just about 18 now, has been racing go-karts for a couple of years, and he's ready to move up from a state level to more of a regional level, basically west of the Mississippi, and I'm having a little trouble deciding what's a reasonable amount to budget for that.
Okay. So, where does this lead when he's done?
Ultimately, I think it's.
I don't know any 57-year-old go-kart racers.
Yeah, he understands that when he's done with college and out doing his own thing, that it's going to be something that if he wants to continue with, that he will have to fund it himself.
Does he win prize money?
For now,
or is this just? Are you just supporting a hobby here?
Trophies. Yeah, it's pretty much a hobby. He took a championship in the state league last year, so he's getting a little tired.
I don't know how this works. Do you move up from this to driving NASCAR?
No, just karting. The go-karts, there are adult leagues.
I know that, but I'm just saying okay, because some hobbies actually lead into stuff. I'll give you an example. Okay, my son played ice hockey. I played ice hockey, and I coached my son playing ice hockey, and we had the opportunity to spend $1 bazillion to put him on the travel team. However, we knew that him having my DNA meant he was not going to be in the NHL. Okay. And so this is not going anywhere, except it is recreational sports for fun. And so how much
he, of course, thinks he's going to be an F1 driver someday. But no, it's a hobby. He is very, very good at it, but I don't see him ever going into the big leagues,
that's part of what goes into the equation is, are we going somewhere with this that becomes a career? I mean, if you got a kid that's going to be in the NHL and you want to spend $1 bazillion on travel team and individual coaching and everything else, that's a different thing than kid playing rec league. Right. We were playing rec league, and we just needed to admit that and budget accordingly. So that's what I was asking about is that kind of a thing. And then the other thing, I guess, is as a percentage of your world or of your net worth. What's your net worth?
Net worth, we're probably just under $1 million.
Okay, and what are we spending on this hobby?
This year, to do all of the races that my husband would like him to be doing, we're looking at $30,000 to $40,000.
That's the magic.
And our income is about $165,000.
Yeah, so that man, you threw me an underhand softball pitch here. So I've seen this with baseball kids. And I was a baseball kid that turns into rec league, turns into travel team, turns into for $500,000 like Dave was talking about. But what I often find is kids like playing with other kids. It's the moms and the dads who have some sort of identity investment in this. So when you say...
And that's a big part of it, yeah. I think my husband is living vicariously through our son.
There you go. And so there's something beneath your question here. Are you looking for two guys to give you permission to put the brakes on something that's out of control? What's at the root of your question? Oh, yeah, no pun intended.
Horrible metaphor.
Honestly, I think I'm more looking for permission to let it happen. I mean, Dave always talks about the security gland. I grew up very lower middle class, and I am a hoarder. When I get cash in the savings account, I don't like to let go of it. And I guess...
Okay, so here's the thing.
I guess maybe kind of talk myself into the fact that
financially, this is not going to bankrupt you. You're going to be fine. This is not killing you.
Okay.
It's not. I'm not aghast at what you're spending based on
$40,000
based on your income and based on the fact you have $1 million. Okay. And your baby step 7. They're 100% out of debt, house and everything.
Okay.
And but what does bother me is motivation, and I don't hear good motivation down under here, and I think that might also be disturbing you, and you're trying to blame yourself being cheap on your disturbance. And maybe it's not your being cheap. Maybe you see that this is not going. It was a fun thing that got out of control.
Right. And then
again, bad metaphor.
And Dad got some self-esteem out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if Mom feels like she's
my dad
trying to protect
how much my husband wants him to race this year.
That's right.
Yeah. That's a telling line right there. So financially, you're probably okay. I'm not gonna give you permission to stop everything based on just the money in your situation. You probably have the money, but there's other stuff going on here, and the money's talking to you. You need to listen to it. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Hey, I want to circle back for a second because kids' activities, John, is one of the things that is a budget buster in our world. And sometimes I get... roundly and wrongly criticized by saying no children should ever have any activity. Dave Ramsey's too cheap. You should never, if you're following Dave Ramsey plan, you should never have a child in any kind of extracurricular activity that costs money ever under any circumstances. That's just not true. Right. I do not say that. I've never said that ever in 30 years of doing this. What I have attempted to do is what we did in the Ramsey household is to use some common sense when it comes to kids' activities. If Little League baseball is funded but the college fund isn't, ding, ding, wrong. Right. Well, he might play college on a scholarship. He might not, too. She might not, too.
Statistically speaking, probably won't.
Very statistically speaking. And if they go to college, the chances that they play pro are 1% of the NCAA athletes go pro. 1 freaking %.
So how do we translate that statistics? Probably not your kid.
Not your kid.
Probably not your kid.
Not your kid.
Right.
So, let's think this through then. What are extracurricular activities for? Are piano lessons, dance lessons, Little League sports of all kinds, cheerleading competitions and lessons. Nothing evil inherently about any of them, but like so many things, when they go to an extreme and they violate common sense, many times it's more about the adults than the kids, and you bust your budget doing it.
Yeah, man, I've got a whole section in this new book about that, about over the last 25, 30 years, there's this weird switch. Kids used to be furniture or pets at best, right? I've got to make sure we run this household. And over the last 25, 30 years, they've turned into the epicenter of the household. And
in the name of nurturing.
It started out in the name of nurturing, and it's become in the name of propping up my ego because I'm not happy at work. I'm not happy in my marriage. I'm not happy. I'm disconnected from a church, my community. But if you find yourself waking up thinking about Little League baseball plays, you probably got a problem. If you wake up thinking,
if you're an adult,
I'm going to pitch this guy in this weekend, or okay, if my daughter can pull this trick off, then she can get this. And we've gone way overboard, man. And we've taken the fun.
The way that the parents treat the referees tell you that.
It's bananas. I've got friends who are, I worked in college. I got friends who are trainers in college, in universities across the country telling me they've got athletes who are 18 coming with overuse joint injuries in their shoulders, knees, and hips that they see in elderly populations because these kids from age 4 are getting personalized coaches and specialized this, and you're only going to play this, you're playing year-round, not doing other sports, not just running and playing and being a kid. There's so much psychology about the importance of just let your kids play. That's how they figure stuff out. It's how they stretch their imagination. They develop neural connections. All that stuff happens. But, man, when they feel like they're in a job, a kid cannot prop up and hold up. And I'm getting fired up about this. I'm sorry. They do not have the strength to hold up a mom or a dad's self-esteem. They do not have the strength to hold up a home. And the number of calls I get on my show about a dad yelling at a kid for his athletic performance, or all of that stuff breeds insanity. Stop it, man. Let your kids play.
And your treasure's where your heart is. So
always.
If you see that you're spending so much on this, that it feels out of whack. You know why it feels that way? Because it's probably out of whack.
Right.
It's probably out of control.
That's right.
Now, our kids did cheerleading and took cheerleading coaching a little bit.
My kids play, yeah.
A little bit. And my kids played rec sports of all kinds. I talked about Daniel playing hockey a minute ago. We spend money on other things around that kind of a thing. But we were under no illusion that our child was going to make a living cheerleading.
And I'm under every illusion that if I feel my blood pressure boiling over the performance of a 9-year-old, the problem is not the 9-year-old, the problem is me.
It's one of the reasons I dropped my UT tickets, because my blood pressure was boiling over someone else's 18-year-old.
Over teenagers. Yeah.
These are teenagers with 120,000 people threatening to kill them.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Over the use of a pigskin.
Yeah, that's right. Play the game.
Thought, you know what? I've lost my rabid mind.
I'm with you.
And I'm a football fan, but I spent $1 bazillion to go watch the game to be angry.
You're right.
And I thought, I'm just stupid.
Or the opposite, to have my week fulfilled because a group of teenagers rallied up and won a game.
Yeah.
And if you're a Tennessee fan, that never happens, by the way.
Now, careful. Now, see what you did. Yeah. I see what you did there.
But yeah, we and again, my kids play
again,
sports.
Is travel sports illegal?
No.
Is sports illegal? No. Is spending money on violin lessons? No. Music is great. Music is good for the brain development.
That's right. I spend money on that stuff for my kids. Yeah.
And that's fine. But my wife took piano lessons. And get this, you might be a hillbilly if harmonica lessons.
There you
okay. So, and we have the harmonica. So we have used it a time or two in some family jokes beyond belief, but giving her a hard time. But she could play neither.
Yeah.
Now, neither.
But she can deal with you, and I think all the lessons she got growing up all came together for a purpose. God doesn't waste anything, Dave.
Nothing wasted in God's economy.
Nothing's wasted.
Oh, touche. So I mean that's the thing. So
let me yeah.
So here's the thing: if you are advancing their maturity, their ability to move into adulthood, fine. But if they're playing for you, which you can tell that with some of the symptoms you laid out, that's a problem. And one of the ways you can tell that is the money will tell you, because the money gets out of control.
Right.
What you're freaking spending on the travel, on the lessons, on the specialization, relative to your overall budget.
That's right.
Now again, if you got $20 million and you want to spend $100,000 on your kid to go do whatever, that's fine.
That's
right. Fine.
That's right.
But even that, you got to look at it and go, this is a kid. I just dropped $100K on a sport they're never going to use. Or on a music lesson they're really not going to develop into.
A lot of parents have stopped asking their kids, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? One of my worst parenting moments that has become one of my favorite, I would come home, I was exhausted when I was a dean of students, I would plop on the couch and I would watch the Astros game. And I would try to, instead of going out and playing ball with my son, I tried to get him to watch it with me. Going out and being with him, I'd say, hey, let's watch together. And then one day he said, hey, Dad, this is just 6-year-old innocence, said, hey, Daddy, do you love me as much as the Astros? And that's when we turned it off and canceled it. And then this is just a few weeks ago, he came and said, called a family meeting. I thought, oh, no, what has happened? Oh, he's 12. He's going to be saying, hey, Mom, Dad, we need to talk. But he said, I don't know how y'all are going to feel about this, but I'm interested in not playing Sport X this year. I would love to try out for the school play. I've never been prouder of a 12-year-old, which tells us we redeemed that and said, give him some language. What are some things you're interested in? Let's try stuff. Let's expand it. We're not going to – no one's canning out scholarships for 12-year-olds. Let's let these kids go back to playing, and let's let us do the hard work of getting our identity in other places, man.
I wish it was not true, but they are giving us scholarships for 12 years.
They probably,
but they shouldn't be.
That's right.
Yeah, we're getting there. But the thing is this, guys, you need to money in your life, where you're putting it and the ratios on where you're putting it will speak to you as a symptom of an underlying problem.
And where you feel anger is also a symptom. It's
of an underlying problem.
That's right. It's a signal. Yeah.
Or great fear or anxiety.
That's right.
Also, same thing. So the new book is Own Your Past, Change Your Future. Went on sale today. Deals with a lot of these particular issues that just happen to be right spot on for this hour. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The new book released for pre-sale today. It actually publishes in April, but you can get pre-sale on it today. Own Your Past, Change Your Future. A not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. So make sure you join in and help us make that a bestseller as it comes out of the gate. John's first big major book. Stephanie is with us in Santa Rosa, California. Says on my screen, Stephanie, you're debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's so exciting.
It's good to have you. Welcome. How much have you paid off?
$53,000.
Good for you. And how long did this take?
25 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
So I started at 75 and then went down to 40 and now back up to about 62, not including like my side hustle I was doing during the time.
Cool. What kind of side hustle were you doing?
I was delivering DoorDash.
How'd that work? Did you make some money?
I made a lot of money. Yeah, I did really well. I did it about 2-3 nights a week since I started in like about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, what kind of money? What's good money in a month? Like in a month, what would you get?
Probably about, well, I saved up about $8,000 in a year doing it. So that's paid for my car.
So all right. What happened to your paycheck? This sounded like it got cut in half for a while.
A little thing called the pandemic happened.
What? Tell us more. Just kidding.
I know. So I was living on unemployment for a little while, not working, and then just kind of wanted to get back out there. So I just took a job that I liked, and then another opportunity came about, and so that's how I got my income back up again.
Good for you. So what kind of debt was your $53,000?
Everything. I had about 23 in student loans. I had a great car fleece, 401k loan, and season tickets, credit cards, everything.
You knocked it out.
Wow, good for
I
you.
know. I had about 9 payments I was trying to manage at once every month.
So how old are you?
36.
Okay, good for you. So what inspired you to get on this journey? All the job loss and everything? Was that your wake-up call or something else?
No, I actually started before I had lost my job. I started dating a guy, and about 2 months in, he was telling me about his journey with you, actually, and just encouraged me to get on board too, and I did it.
Wow, very cool. So is he still around?
He is still around, yes. He's sitting next to me right now.
Uh-oh, he might be a keeper. Okay.
I know, I think so.
Good deal. So you've had a good cheerleader, a good accountability partner, and encourager.
Oh, 100%. If I didn't have the accountability, like for myself personally, I needed that, because I kind of would slack off, every once in a while and want to go to dinner or want to do something. So it was just good having him in my corner, keeping me going.
I like it. Well done. Good job. I'm proud of you. Very cool.
Thank you.
Who were your other cheerleaders?
My parents, of course, and then a really good friend. I hope she's listening. Her name is Kat. She kind of got encouraged by us as well, and her husband became debt-free with your journey, using your steps also, and her sister is now starting the program. So just paying it forward for one friend at a time.
I love it.
That's fantastic.
Very cool.
What was the hardest thing about this journey? You live in a very expensive part of the country. You were grinding it. You were doing DoorDash on top of it. What was the hardest part of all of this?
Honestly, changing my lifestyle, because I got into this mess by not caring and buying what I wanted when I wanted it, and just having to not do that anymore and budget myself. I was just letting myself spend $150 a week for gas, groceries, everything, and it was just that was the hardest part for me. Was 100% just the lifestyle change. But
way to go, man!
And
you knocked it out.
And then I have about 3 more months until my emergency fund is done, and then I can start my 401k investing and all that good stuff. So it's great.
You are on your way.
When is that guy sitting next to you going to quit waiting around?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Hopefully not long.
Stephanie, I'm trying to help you out here.
I appreciate it, John. I appreciate it.
You got it. Tell him to call my show on another thing. We'll figure it out.
Oh, will do.
I love it. Well done. Hey, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, How Ordinary People Build Extraordinary Wealth. How you can too. #1 bestseller. It's our gift to you because we think you are on your way to being a Baby Steps millionaire. That's your next step in your journey, next part of your story as you go along, and want to help you with that. We're also going to give you a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away to somebody and help them get started. And about 8-9 million people have now read that and helped them with their get out of debt plan and head towards not only debt freedom, but now becoming wealthy. So, way to go, Stephanie! I like it.
Thank you.
Stephanie in Santa Rosa, California, $53,000 paid off in 25 months, making 75 to 40 to 62, plus the DoorDash. I love it. I love it. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
1, 2, 3. I'm debt free.
Well done, well done, well done. Oh, man. That's cool. Very cool. And she showed her spreadsheet, which they popped up on YouTube as we were sitting here. For you YouTubers, you saw it too. 49ers season tickets.
I was going to say, it was everything from Victoria's Secret to 49ers season tickets. I love the way she said it. Anything I wanted. I just bought everything, right?
Yeah, that's what most people do.
That's right.
There you have it. So, pretty interesting stuff. Very cool. Well done, Stephanie. Very well done. Jeremiah is with us in Columbia, South Carolina. Hi, Jeremiah. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I just got into Financial Peace University, and I'm working on the baby steps. I'm in step 2 right now, so I actually have, instead of $1,000, I currently am sitting on about $8,000. And the reason for that, and the reason I haven't paid it toward the debt yet, is I'm a single father. I have primary custody of my daughter, and I'm looking at possibly having to go back to court here soon, which is going to mean at a minimum a $5,000 retainer from my lawyer to continue my custody battle. And I was just trying to get some advice on how to deal with this now and how to deal with it going forward if more legal expenses come up.
Wow.
I'm sorry, man. Jeez.
That's hard. You treat it like a medical problem, financially speaking. You treat it like a medical problem, that as soon as there's healing, you no longer need to budget for it. But as long as you're in the medical fight, you need to budget for it. It's an ongoing expense or potential expense. And so, yeah, you need to set aside some money for something that you feel, it sounds like you feel like you're 90% sure this is coming again.
Yeah, I'll have to see how tomorrow goes. I'm going to meet with my ex, but she is with her boyfriend. They have a kid, and there's been some investigations into abuse with them. So I got to make sure I can do what I need to do to keep custody.
Yeah, before you do anything having to do with financial anything, you take care of the kids.
That's right.
Right.
Where there's potential abuse or potential stuff, you've got to protect your babies.
Good for you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's the first thing you do.
Outstanding.
And, if you have to put your whole Total Money Makeover financial peace thing on hold while you just fight this, then do. And you'll get, there'll be a day that it does come to an end. Right? I don't know what day that is, but when it comes to an end, then we don't need to budget for it anymore, or we can step back into a more mathematically enthusiastic hit on the stuff. But you got to take care of kids in that situation first and foremost. Agreed?
Man, I love your heart, Jeremiah. Thank you for being one of those dads that says, not on my watch. I'm grateful for you, man.
Yeah, you're not doing this. Boyfriend that's out of control? Nope.
Nope, not with my kids.
John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jordan's in Houston, Texas. Hi, Jordan. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Great, man. What's up?
All right, man. So here's my situation. I'm curious about where my business loan falls into my debt snowball, and I'm kind of struggling with some guilt that I've got over not being able to give 10% to my church, and just how to manage those two things together.
How much is your business loan?
$90,000.
And who do you owe that to?
It's a private loan, so I actually borrowed it from a family member.
Okay. And so you signed a personal note, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really a personal loan.
Okay.
That you used for business.
Correct.
Okay. And what's your profit on your business look like a year?
So last year, I bought a gym a week before the shutdown in March 2021.
Great timing, huh?
2021, yeah. Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh, sucks.
Signed papers, and then next week, hey, you're done. And so with it being a small gym, too, it's relationship-based, and so everybody with all the change and the fear, that was the first thing to go. So anyway, that said, we went down to nothing for that year. I think I lost money in 2021. And then last year I did about 40 profit-wise. And so we were just able to make by at home. And so I really don't have a lot. Actually, I don't have any extra at the end. And, we're following baby steps or doing our best to and cutting back, at-home expenses.
Is there any other income coming into the house?
All the things. Yeah, so my wife works as a teacher.
And she makes what?
She makes 52.
Okay, so you're making 40 off the business today, and she's making 52 off the business today.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Man. How's the growth putting the income back? What was the high point on the gym? What was the best it ever did?
That was actually back in August. We did 17 that month. But that was the highest it's ever done.
What happened in September?
What's that?
What in a small relationship-based gym, I wouldn't expect it to fall off that next month like that. What happened in September?
Oh no! So the next month it was just about 1,500 under that. I think we were right at 15.5.
Okay. So it wasn't a big drop off.
No, and we still haven't had a big drop-off currently. We're just at a point where, I'm making enough to pay for expenses at home, but nothing extra. And I'm making enough, at the gym to pay my staff, to pay the bills, keep the lights on, but nothing extra. Like I don't have any extra, fluff in the budget whatsoever.
Yeah. Back before you owned the gym, what did it do?
Oh, it was doing like $7,000 a month.
And you did 17,000?
So you've doubled it?
Correct. Yes.
And you paid how much for it?
90.
And it wasn't even making money?
No, it wasn't. It was breaking even.
Okay. So you overpaid dramatically.
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to continue to fight it and continue to get the income up, continue to work the business, and I'll try to increase your income out of the business as much as possible. And what did you make at your job before you took this gym on?
I made about 52.
Okay. All right. So
are you maxed?
What's that?
Is the gym maxed?
Is the gym maxed?
No, it's not maxed.
Okay.
No, I can probably double it again before we get to the maxed point.
Okay. All right, let's keep working to double it then, and that's going to be the answer to working yourself through this. And the business loan goes into the debt snowball, which also means it's probably the largest, and it's the big thing at the bottom. How much other debt have you got?
0.
Oh, so this is it. Okay. All
yes.
Right. So, yeah, I think you fight this tiger, and if you could make $90,000 extra in 2 years and pay it off, In other words, increase your income by that much, by doubling, which is what you're talking about. Then you're out of debt in 2 years. If it takes you longer, it's 3 years, that's fine. But you get this monkey off your back, this thing suddenly starts to be a lot more fun to run. Agreed?
Agreed, yes. And can I ask about the giving during this process?
Yeah,
because,
sure. Yeah.
I'm struggling with this concept of, I want to be able to give to the church, and I feel like I'm not trusting enough to give, because I know the tithe is supposed to come off the top, all that good stuff. But at the same time, I don't know which bill I don't pay if I give that 10%.
Well, I would challenge you that you're not that close on your budget. It just feels like you are. Because you're down there fighting cash flow every day, and so you've got this sense of that. I've been doing budgets for 30 years, and very seldom is somebody within 10% of being broke. It's usually a lot worse or a lot better, and so this is about budgeting. It is about writing it down. Now, what I would challenge you on is the struggle part. Okay, number one, I don't believe in giving money to the church. I believe in giving money to God. And as an evangelical Christian, the first 10% he teaches us to give is to the local church. But I would change my phrasing on that because it changes your heart when you change your phrasing. The church really doesn't need your money. God really doesn't need your money. He wants to teach you to become a giver, and he loves you. And so he's not wringing his hands over you giving or not giving. It's just like if you have a kid and you look at your kid and you say, hey, brush your teeth, you get to keep them that way. That's a loving father, right? And the kid's like, yeah, Dad, but I don't really want to. Or, Dad, it's not convenient right now. I'm a little too busy. I don't have the bandwidth. You're like, I know, but when you don't have any teeth someday, you'll wish you had brushed your teeth. And this is a loving father giving instruction to his kid that he's crazy about. Do you hate your kid or think less of your kid or think your kid is got some kind of issue if they don't brush their teeth? No, he's just a kid, and kids don't brush their teeth sometimes. Adults sometimes don't give. But your Heavenly Father says, son, the best way to live your life is to be a giver.
And Jordan, can I challenge you on something?
Sure.
How much of this is a guilt about giving, and how much of this is guilt over taking out that loan and overpaying for a business?
There's definitely some of that too. I think more so it's not providing through, a way that I thought I was going to be able to provide.
There you go.
And it's more so for my family, not necessarily about overpaying for the business
It's all of it, but here's the deal. You cannot move forward if you're carrying that bag of bricks around with you. And so at some point you have to make the choice, and it's hard and it's something you practice, but you got to make the choice to say, I did X and that day is over. And here's who I'm going to become moving forward. And I'm going to start practicing those things. The giving part rallies around an identity, man. It's like Dave would say, it rallies around who you are, who you're giving money to. I think you just beat yourself up so bad, and then you think, man, I can't let another dollar go out this door that's not feeding my family because of what I've done to us. And you got to put that crap down, man.
Yeah, so the way I talk to myself about it is, I go, sometimes I do stupid things, but I am not stupid.
There you go.
So I think we can put you buying this business under the heading of stupid stuff, or at least what you paid for it. But you're not stupid. Sure. I've been talking to you for quite a few minutes. You're anything but stupid. You're caring. You're loving. I think you're probably developing into a really strong, good businessman. And I think you're going to have a great, thriving business. It's going to take you some time. And you'll never borrow money again. And you'll never overpay for anything again. You've learned your lesson. And just like the Bible says, borrower is slave to the lender, so get out of debt. Okay, I don't want you sitting around fretting and going, I feel awful, I feel awful, I feel awful. But I do want you to feel awful enough to get out of debt.
That's right.
And the same thing about giving. I don't want you to be guilted into it or act like you're some kind of Christian Boy Scout or something, doing your duty. But just go, hey, my Heavenly Father who cares about me says the best way for me to keep my teeth is brush them. The best way for me to live is to be a generous person. I'm going to work generosity into my plan, even when it doesn't feel like it fits. I'm going to practice it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. It is launch day as we launch the pre-sale of John's brand new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. You got to be sure and check this out. It's all about mental health and wellness and really about just relationships and getting control of things, creating healing in the land. John, I'm really excited about this.
Thank you so much. It's just 10 years in the making and lots of personal stories and personal experiences and all the academic training and sitting with family after family after family. All comes down to a not so complicated approach to how we need to get back on the wagon when it comes to our mental health and relationships.
Yeah, and it's, so here's the thing. Every person listening right this second has some relationship, something going on inside your head that could get better.
That's right.
Including both of us sitting here.
That's right, absolutely.
And so it's a constant process. It's a constant growing. It's constantly evolving. You get better at handling your money. You get better with your marriage. You get better with your parenting. You get better at your relationships. You get better at managing the stories in your brain and where that takes you.
Yeah, and we joke about this. There will never be a I'm not depressed. There's no depressed free scream or no anxious free scream, right? Because the moment you scream that, you go outside and
pandemic will hit.
Someone lets you know that your mom passed away. So this is more a set of principles for how to get. We've created a world for ourselves that our bodies can't live in, and we're dragging these stories from our childhood and from yesterday with us everywhere. How do we set this stuff down and live a well life amidst this chaos that we've got in our world?
Yeah, very cool.
I'm excited about it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. The new book is on sale with all kinds of pre-sale goodies thrown in, including 30 days of free counseling with the folks at Better Health, and they are pretty incredible.
Yeah, Better Help really stepped up. I could not have been more excited when they stepped up and said, we'll give a free month's counseling to all the pre-sale folks here. It's how much they believe in the book, and we got a great partnership. But you can finish this book and quickly realize I probably should call somebody. And I love that we're able to say, all right, here's a number, and there'll be a counselor on the other end of that line for you.
Ryan is with us to start off this hour in Louisville, Kentucky. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Dr. John. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I need a little bit of advice. Before I ever knew who Dave Ramsey was, I had a credit card, a Discover card. And the largest credit limit on the card was ever $4,200. And so 2015 and 2016, to make a long story short, worst year and a half of my life, went through a really bad divorce, lost my job, so was without a job for about 3/4 of a year. And that Discover card payment that just kept coming in, I kept wanting to bury my head in the sand and act like it wasn't there. And so eventually that $4,200 credit limit ballooned to about $10,000. And in 2017 was served with a judgment from Discover Card for a total of $10,976.92. So started a payment plan with a collection law firm that started in June 2017 and went all the way till January of 2019 was the last payment I made to them, because in February something happened in that year. I can't remember what it was, but a payment didn't get made or it got returned. And then I never heard from them again. Like, I never heard a thing from this company. I never got a bill in the mail. I never got anything until October 2020. They reached out, sent me a letter, and were like, hey, you owe us money. And so I know you've touched on this topic in the past, but they just recently sent me a letter here at the end of January saying that I could make a payment to them of $1,932.77, and it would be good to go. The balance on the account right now is $48.31. So I just wanted to know your advice and how you should handle that.
Okay. Well, obviously these things don't go away. They have a high rate of resurrection. as my friend Les Parrott says. So, it needs to be dealt with because it's not going to go away until you deal with it. And here's the thing. You legitimately owe some money. You possibly have paid already more than you legitimately owed because it sounds like they beefed this thing up to no end to me. And I think it kind of sounds like you feel that way as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you know how much you've paid them so far? Have you ever totaled it up?
I paid them from June of 2017 up till January 2019. I paid them $6,145.
Okay. All right. So what I would do is jump on the phone with them and give them these couple of numbers. Okay. How far behind were you when you first got contacted by them?
So when I first got contacted by them was when the sheriff's deputy showed up at work with these papers.
Yeah, how far behind were you then?
I mean, it was I guess after all the interest and stuff had been accumulated.
Yeah, I'm saying how many years?
10,000.
How many years?
That was probably 2015 was the last time, so that would be about a year and a half, I guess.
Okay. So here's the thing. Discover sold that account to a debt buyer. Okay? Debt buyers buy old, bad debt to collect on it. They collect on a very small percentage of it, and based on the fact that it's very hard, difficult, and almost impossible to collect on even a little bit of it, they don't pay much for the old bad debt. In general, it's about a nickel on the dollar. Okay? So they probably paid $200 for this debt. There's $4,200 on the books. All right. So, 1% or 10% would be $400. 5% would be $200. So somewhere in that range is what they paid for this debt. And so what I would go to them and say is this. I met with my financial coach, and he says you guys bought this for pennies on the dollar. It was originally $4,200. I have already paid you over $6,000, $6,192.42 or whatever the number is. So I'm not feeling like I owe you anymore. However, I will make you this offer. I will give you $600 to completely close this account up and be done with it. And begin a negotiation based on the fact that A, you know that they didn't pay anything for this. B, you originally owed $4,200 and have paid over $6,000 back now. And C, I'm tired of this crap and I want you people to go away permanently. So if you send me in writing that you will settle the account by email or in the mail, either one, that you will settle this account for $600 cash, I will then wire that to you the next day. But I'm not going to pay you $1,900 more. You've screwed me all you're going to. And just argue with them. And you're going to get in an argument. Get ready. And go back and forth, and if you settle it for $800, fine. If you settle it for $1,100, fine. But get it settled for less than $1,900 and use that negotiating process and be prepared to argue and fight through it and get it in writing, or don't give them any money and don't give them electronic access to your checking account. Across the country could all use a date night right now, an evening to come together and focus on what matters most, connection and communication. Maybe the challenges of the past year have pulled you closer together, or perhaps you've drifted apart with homeschooling or job loss or financial stress. No matter what your marriage looks like right now, we can help you achieve better unity and communication at our special Valentine's edition of Money and Marriage. It streams live this Friday, February the 11th at 7 p.m., right into your computer, right into your home. Rachel Cruz and Dr. John Deloney will guide you and your spouse through an unforgettable evening where you'll realign the goals of your marriage, learn how healthy communication can improve every area of your life, and unify your financial goals to put an end to the money fights for good. Tickets for the Money and Marriage live stream are available. They're only $20. They will not last long. And get that $20 in your February budget and head over to RamseySolutions.com/events. Buy your tickets because the time for a stronger marriage is right now. One thing is for sure with John and Rachel doing the event, humor will be a part of it. You two cut up way too much.
Yeah, she's fun, man. I'm looking forward to this event and to give people some tools. Give people a break, man. I'm so sick of greeting card companies and candy companies telling me how I'm supposed to love my wife. And, like, this is the year to do Valentine's different. Right. So get some sweats, get some food that you love, prop your feet up, and let's have some fun.
Yeah. So Rachel and John will be walking you through the Money and Marriage event this coming Friday, the 11th of February at 7 p.m. Go ahead and get your tickets. They're only $20. I think Ramsey Plus subscribers are free for.
That's right.
Yeah. So you guys that are in Ramsey Plus already, you'll be able to watch it for free. And just make sure you schedule this and get scheduled right there on the couch and get the TV going, the whole thing. And a whole new way to go to a Valentine's edition Money and Marriage.
And gentlemen, we will make it worth your while. Trust me. It's not just going to be some...
It's not a girly thing.
Not a girly thing. It's gonna be for everybody. It'll be fun.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I mean, you guys, your all humor and communication style, both of you, is a lot of fun. So you guys will have a blast. Check it out this Friday night. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Free samples, free shipping, and with new promos they run all the time, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
All right, today's question comes from Catherine in Alabama. Catherine writes, I'm 25, newly married, and we are joining bank accounts. I make about $150,000 a year, and he makes $50,000. I have over $180,000 in liquid savings and could pay off all my husband's debt today in one check. Should I do this, or should we work through the baby steps so his behavior changes? I don't want to bail him out. Whew. This marriage is brand new and already off the track. Man. So, Catherine, your husband is not a bank. He's your husband. There's two. Well, man, and then she threw this last little line in here. I got to think about it. So, yes, I think you pay the debt off and get your house debt-free. That is the baby steps. But there's something here. I don't know that he's got some behavior issues. And
he's not being responsible with money.
That's right. That's right.
In her mind.
Right. And whenever I see this, I instantly feel whether this is true or not. And again, these are always one-sided because we're not talking to people. You're no better than him or no more of an extra contributor just because you make more money. Y'all are on the same team, same dream. You're all headed in the same place. He's got to get his behavior in check. But you don't get to call the shots because you make more money. Y'all are doing this thing together. And so I want you to sit down and talk to him about that.
Yeah. You're not his mom.
There you go.
I don't worry about his behavior. Sharon does not talk about me that way.
Right.
Even if she doesn't like my behavior, which happens sometimes, right? But instead, we're like two adults and, you sit down and go, you don't like your behavior.
Yeah.
And this is not okay, and we're not going to go forward this way. We're going to go forward another way. And rather than you somehow dangle the carrot of debt freedom until he learns to behave the way you want him to behave.
That's right. And this should have been a conversation you all had before you got married.
Yeah, like months ago.
Right.
Yeah, your pre-marriage counseling sucks.
If you had any.
Yep. Yeah, and because you guys got married and you don't respect him on this subject, and that's devastating to him. So don't take the position of his mommy, and don't take the position that he's a bank that needs to be bailed out or that you are better than him. Instead, you sit down and say, look, you're my man, I'm your woman, and we're going to work on this stuff together like two grown-ups, and here's how we're going to handle money going forward. or we're going to have to go see a marriage counselor as our first order of business of being married, because we have to get on the same page about money. Because, by the way, money problems and money fights are the number one cause of divorce in North America today.
And Catherine, this isn't his debt anymore. You got married. This is y'all's debt.
Yep.
Y'all's debt.
So as soon as you've had this conversation and there's a glimmer of light in his eyes and goes, okay, cool, let's get on a budget together. Let's start giving every dollar a name. You got $200,000 worth of income in this household. The two of you sit down. Both of you have an equal vote, regardless of where the money comes from. We now have a budget where we spend, $20,000 a month or $18,000 a month, whatever it is here, on paper, on purpose, and then we stick to that. And we don't violate that contract, because that's like lying to my wife or lying to my husband. If I don't stick to what I said I was going to do with them, that's called lying. And so we form a contract called a budget where the two of us both have a vote and we're both in agreement about where the money goes. Now, if he continues to be irresponsible in that setting, you don't have a money problem. Now you've got a marriage and a irresponsible husband problem. And then you've got to sit down with somebody to help coach you guys through this thing. And that's really what should have happened in the process. But don't take the position of, because, later on you're going to be dealing with a 50-year-old man who says, well, I can't buy something until I check with mama. Translation.
We all know that guy.
Yeah, I know that guy. I know him very, very well.
We all know that guy.
Yeah. I got to check in with mama and see if I got any money.
Well, and this works the other way, right?
Yeah, I have to ask my husband's permission.
Let me ask my husband if I'm allowed to buy this.
Dave, will you let me do that?
Right.
It's like, no, you get a vote too, right. Sharon. We both have a vote, regardless of it. I'm the only one who creates any income.
Right.
But she created a lot of income by allowing me to create income.
That's exactly right.
And so by, not having drama at home, that helped create income. So she gets a vote on, this piece of real estate we purchased, this charity event we're going to give or not give to, this thing, she gets a vote in all of that. And regardless of where the income comes from. So $200,000 budget, lay it out for the month. Where are we going to spend our money? And we are going to pinky swear and spit shake. This is a contract. We're going to stick to this. Now you have a responsible adult working with a responsible adult. And the day that you get that glimmer, which should be like by the end of the week, that you need to do this right now, tonight. Turn off the stupid television. Yellowstone will wait. Okay? 1883 will wait. Tiger King will wait. Just park it. You can do this. Sit down and get this done, and then write a check and pay off his debt.
And then moving forward, let this be the template for how you will always handle, both of you, challenges that come up in your marriage. You're not going to dangle this or withhold that or, well, I'm just going to do this. No, we're going to sit down and say, hey, in your weekly meeting that you have or your nightly check-in with each other that you have, I'm struggling with this thing, whatever this thing happens to be. And by the way, you're 25 right now. You'll have a million things over the next 50, 60 years. Guarantee it. So practice now having these hard conversations because they only get harder.
This summer, Sharon and I will be married 40 years.
Wow, congrats, man. Me and Sheila are 20 this summer.
40 years.
Congratulations.
And you know what? We have to align on more than the budget today because we've been doing the budget for 30, is calendar. If we can be in agreement on where our time goes and our money goes, we generally are in agreement.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Beautiful.
This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Otis and Sandra are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Great.
Cool. Where do y'all live?
Delhi, Louisiana.
Okay, what's
close to Monroe, West Monroe.
Oh yeah, I've been to Monroe. Great.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
We worship in West Monroe at church.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I spoke at the Baptist Church, a white
Okay.
building.
Mhm.
There one time 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
It may
That's
not,
some
it may
of the
not even be
best-
still standing. I
The
don't know.
best eating on planet Earth happens in Monroe, Louisiana.
There you go. That's good food.
Now you got my stomach growling.
telling you, man.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, guys. Good to have you. How much debt have you paid off?
$85,383 in 22 months.
Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
$87,000 to $96,000 back to $87,000.
I love it. Very good. What do you guys do for a living?
I am a medical coder. I work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I work for LifeShare Blood.
Okay. What'd you do to get your income up 10 grand and then drop it back down?
Lots of overtime, side jobs, and when COVID happened, actually nobody was going to the emergency rooms. I didn't have any accounts to code, so my hours got cut.
Uh-oh.
But I had a nursing license, so I went and worked at the nursing home. And I worked there for about 4 or 5 months, and sometimes I would work at home for 8 hours and go work 8-10 hours at the nursing home. So just to help, and he did side jobs.
That's not only hard working at the time you were doing that. That was a little bit scary for you, wasn't it?
It was. It was.
Yeah, that's firefighter
That was a high
duty.
stress situation right then.
Yes, it was.
What a brave woman. You're awesome.
Yeah.
She is.
And they needed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what were you doing, Otis?
I've been in the ministry for about 30 years, but I've taken another job now and doing something else. So we've been working hard together to make things work with us.
I got you. Cool. Tell me about the $85,000. What kind of debt?
Everything. Credit cards.
Yeah, I thought student loan would never go away, but it does.
It
does.
won't unless you get rid of it.
That's right.
That's right.
Car loan, student loan, credit cards, medical, and
Y'all just kind of normal.
normal.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
normal.
Okay. And you just woke up and said, we make $87,000 a year. This has got to go away. And it sounds like you kind of started this in the middle of the COVID mess.
We did right before COVID.
Right before, okay.
Right before. So he used to listen to you on the radio for years
Mm-hmm.
and come home and he'd tell me stuff. I'm like, well, that's not going to work for us.
Yeah.
So read your first book, though, Financial Peace, and still didn't buy into it. So then when we was making that kind of money and it was just us two. And so I, was looking at everything and I was like, well, we have so much money, but we still have all this debt.
Yeah.
So I saw a friend mention you on Facebook. So I thought, let me check this out. So I started watching your show.
I knew it would work all along.
I didn't.
Otis, keep that one to yourself, man.
That's right.
Bringing that up right now is not good timing.
Man, Otis.
Well, I've always had good radio stations in Monroe, so I'm not surprised that I got through to Otis on the radio,
Yeah.
and then Sandra looks me up on YouTube.
That's right. That's right.
Us up, I guess.
That's
the whole
right.
gang here, yeah. So very cool. All right. So how long you two been married?
It will be 35 years on Valentine's Day.
Oh, all right. Just coming up then.
That's right.
Monday.
Monday.
All right. Very cool.
What happened several years ago that got you on this journey?
It was, like I said,
Everything.
just
Debt,
realize.
just seeing that debt, just being there, knowing it wasn't going away. We just knew we had to do something different.
All right, so you say we're going for it, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden COVID hits. Did
Yeah.
y'all have a freak out moment? Or what
maybe
kept you going?
Maybe a little bit.
Little.
And then about 3 or 4 months after that, we took FPU, so through Zoom.
Oh, wow.
And so we did that with a couple, and that just kind of helped because all we had left then was the car and the student loan. And so we really pushed forward, and we got our student loans paid last on Christmas Day.
Oh,
that was our
wow.
Christmas present to each other.
All right. How long had you had Sally Mae around?
Oh, too long.
It goes
Probably
back
20
many years.
Decades.
Yeah,
Yes.
decades.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Well, good for you. You're free.
Amen.
right.
Right.
First time in 35 years, I
Yes.
Yeah.
bet. Wow. How's it feel?
Great.
Amazing.
Unburdened.
Yeah.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen. Well, congratulations,
Thank
you
you.
guys.
It-
Very, very proud of y'all.
Yeah, we have, this past year has been really a struggle for us. So we paid off our debt, and it helped us to realize that our marriage needed work.
Yep.
So just pulled us together and saw that. So that's when he decided to leave ministry. We decided to focus on us. We've been doing counseling and better than we've ever been. So we're not only debt-free, we're free from our past.
Yep.
I love
So-
that.
Yeah.
Healing promotes healing, promotes healing.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, it's hard to work on one area and get everything straightened out without working on the others.
Yep.
Exactly.
It just always ends up that way. That is so powerful. Good for you.
All right.
A lot of brave, big
Just
decisions.
say,
Yeah.
there's two brave people in front of me.
Yeah. A lot of big
incredible.
decisions.
Yes.
Career changes, different kinds of commitment changes. And
If we had not been debt free, it wouldn't have been possible for
I
us
don't
to
think it
really
would
focus on that. So that's made a huge difference.
Yeah. After Sharon and I went broke, we were too worried about eating and feeding kids to even notice what we'd done to each other.
Right.
And it was about 3 years later that we decided to try to kill each other.
Yeah.
And we end up with a marriage counselor, and I'm going, I'm going to kill this woman. She goes, you're an idiot. I was an idiot 4 years ago. That's not changed. Yeah, but it was the same kind of thing. We healed enough in that area to where it allowed us to go, oh crud, this other area is broken.
Right.
And
Exactly.
same exact process.
Exactly.
So very cool, you guys. Very
That's
proud
right.
of you. Very well done.
Thank
Very
you.
well done. Well, we've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story for sure.
Right.
And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and get somebody else's journey going. You've been through Financial Peace University. You've checked out the radio, the podcast, the YouTube. You've been with us everywhere. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for hanging out with us. We're honored. And then coming to Nashville to do this live in person.
That's right.
Very cool.
And I don't want folks to miss, before you do this, I want folks to miss, you're an inspiration because you paid off all your debts, and it's incredible. But I don't want to miss the other parts of your journey here. It takes a brave person, a brave couple, to say, we've been married for 35 years. It's time for us to recommit, reconnect, and do this thing, and we're going to need some professional. That's hard.
Yes.
And there's lots and lots, and I say lots, I mean millions of marriages in that same spot. I'm proud of you guys, and thank you for the example you just set for the whole country. It's never too late to say, let's redo this thing.
That's right.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Proud of you.
Turns out us old dogs can learn new tricks.
If you're brave, you can. That's right.
But you got to be brave.
That's
That's
right. Good for you guys.
It requires a level of courage. So very well done, you guys. Proud of you. Good stuff. All right, Otis and Sandra, Monroe, Louisiana, $85,000 paid off in 22 months, making 87 to 96. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah, I love it. That is so powerful. So powerful. Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. The problem with your money is not a math problem. The problem with your money is the person in your mirror and the relationships that person engages in.
Over the last 30 years, how much of that 80% that's behavior is communication, that first conversation? It's got to be a big chunk of it.
It's the ability to play well with others.
Yeah.
To tell your crazy cousin no.
Yeah.
To set a boundary, right? No, I'm not giving you any more money. You're a drug addict. I'm not giving you any more money. Yeah. To tell your spouse, we got to get on the same page. We got to heal this thing. Mm-hmm. To look at yourself in the mirror, forgive yourself for being an idiot.
Yep.
Because I got a PhD in DUMB. I know what stupid looks like. I've looked at him in the mirror. I know this guy. But also know I don't do the same stupid thing twice. So I look for new stupid things to do, but I don't do the same one twice. I'm going to learn. I'm going to get better. I'm going to evolve. I'm going to heal in every one of these areas. And I don't have to repeat. I don't have to cycle on any of these areas of my life. And you don't. And you guys out there don't. But this idea that somehow I can simply go make more money and it'll be okay? Nope.
Wherever you go, there you end up, my friend. You will follow you everywhere.
Yeah. The old story of the guy on the road, and he asked the old man, how are the people in that town back there? And he goes, how did you find them in the last town? That's how you'll find them in this town.
That's right.
How'd you like that last job? Oh, the leaders were jerks. I bet you they are at the next place.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. I bet you there's a good chance of that. You seem to attract those kind of people.
But then you look at Otis and Sandra, and they said, no more.
We're going to change it. We're going to break the cycle.
Change
our family tree. Good stuff. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 3:21. My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion. Mark Twain said, good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. Kind of what we were just talking about.
What a great quote.
Kind of what we were just talking about. Well, it's tax season. I don't know anybody who loves that unless you're an accountant. The truth is, most of us dread taxes. It's a pain. It's confusing. Filing taxes is bad, and tax software can oftentimes make it even worse, and then they try to sell you debt on top of that. But filing your taxes doesn't have to be horrible. We created Ramsey Smart Tax to give you software that you can actually trust. Smart Tax has steps that are simple, they're clear, so you know you've done your taxes right. No more headaches, no more second guessing, and we'll never tack on surprise fees or try to sell you scummy companies, sell your info to scummy companies or something like that. When you sign up for Ramsey Plus, it's even easier. You even file your taxes with Ramsey Smart Tax free as a part of being in Ramsey Plus. So don't get taken advantage of by your tax software ever again. Start your free trial of Ramsey Plus and file your taxes for free at RamseyPlus.com. That's RamseyPlus.com. That's a pretty good and clean and simple way to do that. Corinne is with us in New York. Hi, Corinne. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
So both my husband and I work full-time, so our AGI combined is about $94,000, but he also sells computers part-time. He sold about $250,000 in computers this year alone. But we're not seeing any profit. We're only seeing loss on our taxes with business expenses and credit cards. I'd love to help him, but with 12 hours a day working and traveling to and from work, I don't have time to help him with bookkeeping and things like that. So what would be your suggestion? Should I leave my job and help him and, stay with the kids, or should we hire someone?
You should hire someone.
Hire someone over.
You didn't tell me you hate your job. You just said your husband was struggling.
Right.
Okay.
I don't hate my job.
Okay.
I just feel like I
And by the
could be
way,
doing
you're
something
making
better
money
with
and
my
he's
time.
not.
Yeah.
Profit.
Mm-hmm.
What's the loss here? Is it the cost of the computers? How are you selling $250K and walking away losing money?
Right. Most of the money is filtering back into the business. So he's buying more computers and using the credit cards to pay for more computers and then putting more money back on the credit cards. So it's just a vicious cycle.
No, it's horrible business practice. Absolutely horrendous. It sounds like this guy knows how to sell computers, but is horrible at running a business.
Right. Money management is
well, managing the business is part of money management. It's part of accounting. You have to be able to do that at a certain level to operate a business. And you can learn it. It's a learned skill. It's very possible. But what he needs to do is jump online at RamseySolutions.com, click on ELP for taxes, and find a CPA in your area that we trust, that we endorse, to help you set up a set of books. And the CPA can actually teach him how to do the bookkeeping. And you can get some simple software. There's all kinds of software out there to get started in business that's not super complicated. But this guy does not know how to run a business. He just knows how to sell computers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have to learn that, or he's going to have to shut this down.
Right.
Because let me tell you what's going to happen. All of a sudden, the sales are going to stop, and he's going to be like musical chairs. The chairs are going to be gone. He's going to be standing there holding the credit card debt, and it's over.
That's true.
That's what's going to happen here. I've watched it happen tens of thousands of times over the years of coaching small business people. And here's the problem with he's a great salesman, isn't he?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, I'm a great salesman too. And the thing that I tried to do when I was at his stage is I tried to out-earn my stupidity.
Mm.
You can't make enough to be stupid. But salesmen think you can. I know. I am one. Okay? And the truth is, if you tell him that, he'll start laughing. You go, honey, we can't out-earn your stupidity. You're going to have to get up under this business and start setting up basic operational things, basic accounting things, shipping, some of the other stuff. He's just running around hanging on by a thread in every area except sales, which he's excelled at.
So would it be a good idea to help him with that?
If you
And just put
can
me
without
on
quitting
payroll?
your
Put me
job.
on his payroll?
If you can without quitting your job. But he doesn't, you know, he could put a bookkeeper on his payroll and they'll pay for themselves in about 30 seconds.
Is he exhausted, Corinne? Or is he like this shuffle? It seems like doing this much work.
He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot. He works full time and then part time every other time he's doing this. He doesn't sleep.
Oh, this is on the side?
Yes.
What does he make at his full-time job?
About $49K.
What do you make at your full-time job?
$57.
Okay, so you have a $100,000 income, and then he's got a side gig that's basically churning $250K.
Yes.
In and out.
Yes.
Yeah, you need a bookkeeper or an ops person, operational person, a bookkeeper, business manager, office manager that can do bookkeeping type of a thing that can help him with administrative things, including some basic accounting functions. Right. You know, it can be a guy, it can be a gal. And 100 years ago, we called them Girl Friday. You ever heard that phrase? But it's somebody that comes in and takes over. It's your business mom. You know, that comes in and help. That's one of your first hires when you get going in a business. It could be a business dad. I don't care. It's not a sex thing. It's man or woman, doesn't matter to me. But somebody's got to come in and bring the skill sets that he does not have, or this thing's or he ought to just stop doing it.
Right.
And let me tell you
that's
this.
That's not an option for him. He loves
It is an option.
Well, it is an option. Don't back yourself into a corner, and don't let yourself be backed into one either.
That's true.
It's always one. Let me tell you, the relief and peace I felt when I had a supervisor a job or two ago that came to me and said, "You are really good at this. I'm going to teach you and get you some help on this part." And I fought it, and it was against my ego, and I pressed back a little bit, and then, oh man, I was able to breathe. And so I would approach this, like Dave said, talk to him about what he's really good at, and then say, let's make this part right, because we miss you at home. I miss you. This thing is not working. You're not good at this thing.
You may need to raise prices.
Yeah.
You may need to change shipping. You may need to whatever. You definitely got to cut up the credit cards and stop cycling the thing and start running it on a cash basis for sure. But cash basis accounting is I buy stuff when I have money.
Right.
That's cash basis accounting, and that's how all small businesses should start. Some people start them on credit cards. 38% of small businesses in America right now are running credit card debt as an operational thing.
Wow.
And that is suicide.
It's terrifying.
You know, it's terrifying of what it'll do to you. So, yeah, you got to get him out of that. So, get him with one of our tax ELPs or find somebody that you can hire to bring in or get the virtual assistant. The people with Belay can help you with that. That might be an answer. Get with the Entree Leadership team here, and I'll send you a copy of the book, Entree Leadership, to help you guys get started on this, because it sounds like he's got the beginnings of something that ought to work. It may just be simply he hasn't got his margins straight. He needs to raise prices. It may be that he's shuffling this so much he can't tell what's going on, whether he's really making money or not. He may actually be making money and then just dumping it all back in because he's not managing cash. He's managing a shell game, hiding the pea.
Well, here's another thing she didn't mention, so I'm just putting this out there. He may not be making that much money. And I would want to see all the numbers out on table. And this may help from a trust perspective for your marriage, just to say, I want to see the books on this thing. I want to see how this thing is running. That's a lot of income to be churning, to walk away and still the boat's still sinking. Something doesn't feel right to me about this whole thing.
Yeah, it is a lot of to have zero profit.
Have zero.
But you can call it no profit by just dumping it all back in.
That's right. Yeah.
And just by churning it.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to parlay it up. Parlay it up from nothing to 250.
Yeah.
So somehow he's moved the P that far.
But if you're not bringing anything home to support your family, it's a real expensive hobby.
Kind of missed the point.
That's right.
Kind of missed the point. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.